Full disclosure, news and commentary number 888. Yeah, it's going great. I'm going to have a celebration of sorts. My next video is likely going to be a celebration celebrating the number of subscribers I've got. Tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, a few news items to go over. I think today's will be a little shorter than my videos have been. That is a collective sigh of relief from the people who listen to me, no doubt. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing great. You know who did great? I'm going to open with this. I don't often talk about sort of the national wrestling scene, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about AEW. I love being wrong when it's for the best reasons. For example, I remember when when One Night Stand was announced. Yeah, the ECW thing when they were under the WWE/F. I remember writing. I used to write for a place called Lethal Wrestling, and I remember writing like, this thing's got disaster written all over it, and I could not have been more wrong. One Night Stand, I thought the first one was fantastic. And actually the second one had moments that were, in their own ways, even bigger than in the first one, though the lows were lower as well. But, I mean, John Cena working heel against Rob Van Dam was unbelievable in the second one. But point being, I was wrong. And AEW, which I've sort of long decried as the group that's number 2 by default, but they haven't done anything yet, they sure as hell did something on Saturday. And this is what I find interesting. I was almost going to save this for the commentary section at the end, but I'm going to talk about something Georgia-based for my commentary. AEW, those last 3 matches, I'm not generally a fan of a lot of the AEW style of matches. It didn't matter. Those last 3 matches, of course, Cody Rhodes, of course that delivered with Dustin. But I thought the Omega and Jericho thing was incredibly effective. The appearance by Jon Moxley was really great. I think how they don't retire yet to Dustin, and then they tied it into a match with the Young Bucks. The last 3 things were phenomenal. But just as newsworthy were pro wrestling people who. And these are pro wrestling people, not wrestling fans for the most part. These are pro wrestling people. I saw everything from the sort of like backhanded compliments of like, well, it was great, but if I had months to book a thing, it would have been great too. Fuck you. They pulled it off. They had to hit a home run, and they not only hit a home run, I think it's safe to say they hit a grand slam. Does this mean they're inevitably going to be a success and that everything's going to fall into place? No. But you only get one chance to make a first impression. And their first impression was, top that. Can you have a better debut than that in pro wrestling? Than people looking at WWE and going, I don't think WWE can fucking top it. But secretly hoping that they try and perhaps succeed. AEW, here's the ultimate litmus test. Was AEW's Double or Nothing good enough that people think in the back of their mind, maybe this will encourage the WWE to be good? Yes, I think that's pretty much the universal reaction, which means it was an unqualified success. Congratulations to Dylan and other Georgia people who were involved in that show. It's one of those things where hopefully you'll be able to look back and go like, I was a part of that first thing and it was fucking awesome. And I honestly thought Vegas may not be the best place to have it. I was wrong. Vegas is the right place. Vegas is the place. It's becoming one of these places. It's just great to see. Fantastic. I love Vegas though. I'm a Vegas guy. So, all right. Let's get to some local news stuff, huh, Georgia? Anarchy. Lots of stuff happened. Sal's their new champ. Matt Hankins finally lost the TV title Does that mean we're not going to get any more videos? That'll make me so sad. He lost to Jeter. Certainly no shame in that. But then they parlayed it into a feud with Strychnine. Brilliantly done. I'm a big fan of you use apparent blow-offs as, instead of a blow-off, it's a launching pad for the next thing. I think it was very smart. Sign that they know what they're doing. Sal's the new champ. We'll see what that ends up meaning and the significance of it. APW drew 75. Again, for a regular show for them, that's good. Total Aggression finally got a number on that. They drew 95, which perhaps hurt Wildcat, which was the next day. I don't know. Hard to say. Our guests, by the way, on Tipping Point this Tuesday are going to be Jacob Ashworth, who's got a big thing coming up at Shindig, of course, and Chase Stevens, who wrote an article that I reviewed. If you haven't watched my Be Kind review, please feel free to do so. I think Chase Stevens and I agree in principle about most things, but I do have a couple of pointed questions to ask him. It should make for an interesting show. What else is going on? I thought the news item that was on, by the way, gwhnewsandnotes.blogspot.com, if that is not a regular part of your viewing, it should be. If you are a wrestling person in the Georgia area or the Southeast in general, or hell, Puerto Rico for that matter. Their Puerto Rico freaking notes are amazing. That Simon Sermon and Tracer X are going to be at the next WrestleMerica show. Certainly interesting. Perhaps nothing will come of it. To me, this is a good test for WrestleMerica. Are they going to make something out of it? Are they going to make something out of the chaos? Is chaos going to be a ladder, or is it going to be ignored? That will be a sure indication on the strength of the booking of that promotion. My opinion. Yeah. Wheeler ending his association with AWE/Combat. A lot of people probably think I'm over here like spiking a football or something like that. I think pro wrestling in the Georgia scene is better with Wheeler in it. However, not the Wheeler that's been involved with it for the last 6 months. I think the sort of Spitfire guy that was, fuck the world and, with these fans, we're going to rally forth, and 10 years from now, there's going to be a documentary about us, and it's going to be great, and that guy, I think, is missed, but, I think bowing out, everybody bows out. Often a critique that's laid at me is like, well, PCW didn't really draw all that much, and, what the fuck did they do? And so it seems to be the implication. And then, Stephen Platinum, the promotion's not even open anymore. Pro tip, everything ends. Here, understand. Everything ends. It's how you end. And I think most people would associate my active involvement with PCW, my swan song, though it happened later when I clearly as I could pass the torch to Matt Hankins, but really most people would associate my official, I'm the captain of the ship ending with PCW happened at Sacred Ground 3. Has anybody else ever gone out fucking bigger than that? I doubt it. I'll take it, right? And my legacy is assured. I saw Drew Blood posted a thing that I thought was very interesting, which was like, are we going to let the loudest voice in Georgia wrestling be a guy who broadcasts a thing from his living room in Orlando? Yes, because you don't have a fucking choice, frankly, because it's the same reason PCW succeeded in spite of everything, is because I was the loudest voice and the most dedicated. Let us not forget that when I was still in Georgia, full disclosure, which is now this vlog, started off as articles that I wrote. You know how many full disclosures there were? And none of them were short items. Certainly, each one of those full disclosures was far longer than anything that anybody writes now. You know how many there were? This might shock you to hear. 50. Right? And when I would come out with that annual list of the 10 most influential people in Georgia wrestling and that kind of thing, people clamored to be on that shit and argued and fought with me, either publicly or whatever, right? I'm the loudest voice. That's just an argument. I may not be, but I'm certainly the most vocal one. I'm certainly the most prolific. And more than that, I would argue that I'm the one who cares the most and doesn't have an agenda to push, a selfish agenda to push in Georgia wrestling. Some say I'm a shit starter. Duh. Have you fucking met me? What else is going on? But Wheeler ending his association. It saddens me, and it's hard to imagine that promotion in spirit continuing. They have this big event that they do in association with a con, and then that's going to be it for him. I'm going to say this, and he probably won't think it's sincere, but it is. I wish him well, and I also hope that he doesn't get dragged back in. I think he gave it the college try. I think their influences are undeniable, though not nearly as great as they themselves think it is, right? I saw where Gary Lamb had posted a thing where it's like, we're going to run the masquerade and we're going to actually do what other people haven't been able to do, which is to be a success in Atlanta wrestling. Again, it's just hyperbole and bullshit. PCW did shows out of the masquerade that drew hundreds. The one we did WrestleMania week was packed, and legit wrestling celebrities showed up for our shit, unprompted. The Jim Cornettes of the world and other people showed up to our shows, and again, started off as a show with 20 people watching, and then built and built and built and built. And the last two shows were so successful for the masquerade and made so much money. We got paid off of the cut of the bar, and our cut of the bar was so much money that they tried to lower it, and then I immediately went, well, screw you. I'm not negotiating like that. You don't get to make a bunch of money on our work and labor and then try to cut us out of the money that we're entitled to. That's why that relationship ended. It certainly didn't end in a whimper. The crowds were bigger and bigger and bigger. Ask anybody who was a part of them. The last 2 or 3 masquerade shows, especially that huge one during WrestleMania week, we killed it. And most of the people who reviewed all the shows going on, by the way, WrestleMania week, and there were a number. Dragon's Gate did a show. Ring of Honor gave a show. Most put us as the win placer show. Most of the lists I saw put our show in the top 3. A couple put us in the number 2, and 1 or 2 had us as the best show WrestleMania week. I'll fucking take it. And frankly, I didn't need a band to open for me or open for a band to get that crowd. Ooh, bitchy. What else is going on? GPW, they've got a show this Saturday running against Shindig. It's not against Shindig. They're obviously in different towns, and GPW's doing his thing. And I know that GPW has a show because they had a retort about the GeorgiaPremierWrestling.com website that I thought was lame as shit. It was disingenuous, implying that Southern Honor was engaging in deception in order to fool their fans into buying tickets to that event. Then you must think your fans are fucking idiots, right? If they would fall for something like that. And it took the role that I always find to be the most disgusting, which is to actively embrace the role of victim. Oh, we were wrong. This other promotion has stooped so low. And whatever happened to the good old days, right? When in Tennessee, when they try to deride the Poffos as an outlaw show that wasn't shit. Randy Poffo, aka Macho Man, Lanny, their father, showed up at their shows and were like, let's fucking fight. Now, am I saying that GPW needs to show up at Gary Lamb's thing and fight? No. But if this is a battle rap, they just hit bars on you, your response is to go like, yeah, but what you're saying isn't very nice. Wah, fucking wah. There are only two appropriate responses to criticism or somebody getting over on you in the pro wrestling game. And this is something that's rarely talked about. There are two appropriate responses. Either you're the bigger person, and I don't mean you're the bigger person morally. You're the bigger person in spirit and honor and heart. I mean you're the bigger promotion. So the other person is it's a flea crawling up the leg of an elephant with rape on its mind, right? You're just like, I'm not gonna fucking acknowledge this motherfucker because what they're saying is ridiculous. Or it's either ignore, if appropriate, or fight back. Fight back. Oh, if Gary Lamb had PlatinumChampionshipWrestling.com and did that little diss, I certainly would have cried. I would not have cried about it. I would have found a way to fucking get him back. And you know what? You can do it in the spirit of good spirit and all of that stuff. And frankly, it would have been a lot more interesting. Rather than this false competition shit that they do. I mean, I don't know what the point was. Like, for a little while, David Manders and Gary Lamb were trying to do this, like, shooty shoot thing. I guess I was supposed to notice it and make a big deal about it. You notice I haven't said a thing about it because it was such a blatant attempt to try to generate animus that didn't really exist. And I like to think I'm a little smarter than that. But speaking of Shindig, that's going to be my commentary. We're going into the commentary portion. I guess what we just had there was a rant. I should have called it out. I want to talk about Shindig because I've been looking at everything they've been doing to promote this event, and I give them nothing but high marks. Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. They've cultivated a fan base, and they're speaking directly to their fan base, but their fan base is energized and riled up to do great things, right? They constantly post David Manders, and a thing that I think is smart is David Manders is not the primary guy pushing. Charles was always that guy, and it worked for him, but I think it's great that it's more of it feels like more of a team effort with Southern Fried now, right? The Brooklyn Creed video was great. The Joseph Brock video was great. Master and Machine video that Bill Barron's posted I thought was really great and made them look big time. The Drew Blood stuff on there, super funny and super engaging. And there, I see the guys doing interviews all over the place, right? And all that's accessible to their fans. But to me, it's just symptomatic of a good thing, which is a lot of energy is going into promoting this show. I always knew which Sacred Grounds were going to do well, whether it was like the Me era or the Shane Mackey era or the Matt Hankins era. I always knew what was going to go well by just the sweat on the brow of how much hustle was going into it. It was just a good indication of not just the crowd we were going to draw, but just the general feeling and tone and energy. And Shindig, whether they hit that 651 plus mark, whether they hit the 500 mark, at least they could say they gave a genuine, concerted effort to fill that building. And more than that, tell their stories. They don't have a TV show. This is what it reminded me of, and this is the main subject of the commentary. People don't have TV, and please don't tell me about some internet fight TV bullshit. Like, nobody fucking cares about that. That's just my opinion. So you got to find other ways to tell your story, and social media is the way. And a series of videos and clips. I thought Shindig has done a great job of having video packages or guys even commenting on videos and stuff like that. to sort of set up these stories and these matches and whatever. And if you're already inclined to go to the show, you know exactly what's up. And if you sit next to a person who comes to the show for whatever reason and they don't know what's up, the fans can educate each other. And I think that's just about the best way you can do it in lieu of having television. Is everybody seems very involved in what's going on, and all the main eventers and main people are represented and going out of their way to promote the show. And it's more than just clicking share on. I hate that that's become the hallmark of promoters. Is just like, you guys need to click share. It's like, to me, that shit's so elementary that it isn't even worth discussing. And more than that, it's like, if you have to ask somebody to remember your birthday, then your birthday is devalued, right? If you have to ask and beg people to promote the event that they're on, then even if they do it, and of course you want the practicality of them doing it, there's something devalued about that. And Southern Fried to me is full of, I mean, whatever I want to say about them, they're going for it on this Shindig show. And it's really great to see. The videos, the interviews, it's all good. And I'll be curious to see how that translates to a crowd. I'm sure one of the big 2 or 3 reviewers that we've got are going to be there. I would assume Larry's going to be there, and perhaps Rob as well. And maybe, hopefully, one of them covers GPW, just because I want a real crowd count. I don't really trust GPW's crowd counts, honestly, at this point. Kudos to Anarchy for giving what I think is a very real crowd count. Same with APW and Total Aggression. That makes me super happy. Perhaps I've made people paranoid about my sort of thing with viral. And if so, I say good. Yeah, so good luck, Shindig. That's this Saturday. It's going to be a big one. What would qualify as what are the standards of success? I've set them there for them, but I'm curious what their standard of success will be. And by the way, this is another thing on the side that's really got nothing to do with anything, except I was actually listening to Myron Fancher? Interview Drew Blood. And I will say this. That guy's got a face for radio. But you know what he's also got? A fucking voice for radio. He might have the best voice of anybody who hosts like sort of like a wrestling podcast, period, much less in the Southeast or specifically like Georgia and the Carolinas area. And that's me being dead ass serious. That guy's got a great fucking voice. And it certainly makes him infinitely better to listen to. There's people who may critique me because they're like, he ums and uhs a lot. I'm like, I do. But I also speak off the riff, and you know that I'm going to fucking attack people. Myron, less so. He's definitely more on the positive side. I think, he's definitely on the light side of the force, along with Rob, Broad, and that kind of thing, and that's great. Most people would argue that I am definitely shooting lightning out of my fingers. But my lightsabers are way cooler. And that's just the way it is. Anyway, tune in to Tipping Point on Tuesday, where we're going to talk to Jacob Ashworth. I'm curious how that interview is going to go. But I know the Chase Stevens part of it is going to be dynamite. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great time.